hooked up here, ready to go, and the idea is that I'm going to go through and try and find a bunch of Jellyfin clients, hopefully. I'm playing on the screen behind me. Hang on. There we go. How dreadfully professional. I know, right? Okay. So, if you have a client for Jellyfin for the Apple TV that you already love, please let me know, because there is a huge number. There's a huge number of clients. Like if I just go to the App Store and literally just search for Jellyfin, there is Plezy. There's D-Jelly, which I think is just for music, although I could be wrong with that one. There is Player Extreme. There is... Everybody's been telling me to check out Infuse, so don't worry, we'll have a look at Infuse today. Swiftfin just had a big update. JellyTV is another one. Streamyfin is another one that I've actually used this one a little bit, and I really do like it. Moonfin is another one, and it's had a bit of a, I don't know, in Reddit recently. There's been a few people talking about Moonfin and stuff like that. So Liquidfin, like, where am I supposed to start with all this? And that's the kind of the purpose of this stream, is to like take a look at the chat and see what you guys are recommending I look at and stuff like that. In fact, let me just toss you up here on the prompter so I don't have to keep looking at my laptop. So yeah, please put messages in the live chat. I'll do my best to monitor it and stuff like that. The first one, still nope. Yep. Hello there. I don't know what you mean. No audio. No audio. No audio. Well, there should be audio because I was playing on the screen behind myself. I definitely know I heard myself a minute ago, but I'm pretty sure audio is fine. Isn't it? Please, somebody in the live chat confirm for me with the word chocolate milkshake the audio is working just fine before I crack on with the stream. I can hear you. Thank you, Overkill. That will do just nicely. All right, well, let's take a look at the native client first of all. I've got sort of like a little list of things I want to check on each client. If there's anything that you absolutely want to make sure that I cover today, I'm going to be trying to... Basically, this is the research for the tvOS clients video. And I've been kind of going through a lot of this stuff offline anyway for a little bit, but I thought I'd bring you guys along for the ride today and sort of just see what's going on, you know. So let's make a new note here for tvOS clients. These are the things I want to check today, right? That we maybe get server discovery working. There's a bunch of stuff. Let's get into it. No audio. Right, so... Oh, I think I know... Yeah, I think I know what's happened. On the scene where it's just my face, I don't have the audio input. I'm a professional, I promise. Hang on. Alex. Oh. There we go. Do you should now have audio in this view as well as this view? And if so, yes, exactly. I can't configure OBS was the problem. All right. Let's start off with the native Swiftfin client on Jellyfin and see what happens. All right. There you go. So this has already picked up my primary server thanks to that shim that I have. Thank you all for bearing with me in the chat, by the way. Like I say, I am a professional YouTuber, I promise. Sort of. But MeSeeks is my main server, and that's not the one we're going to use today. We're actually going to use the Perfect Media server on the bench behind me over here, which I haven't set up a shim for. So I'm going to have to do a bunch of typing. Which is always going to be a super fun time. Which Apple TV is this? Is it this one? I'm trying to use the remote app on my phone so I don't have to keep typing all the time. Might be living room. Yes, there it is. Okay. Right. So what did I call it? jf.demo.ktz.me. Lovely. Connect. Okay, PMS demo, perfect. And then I think I put Alex. We'll see how this goes. I should probably test Quick Connect, right? Oh, there we go. All right. So we're into our first client. Don't worry, Fluger, I will look at Neptune. That's kind of my like one more thing at the end in test flight. It's a pretty sweet Jellyfin app right now. But yeah, so first thing I notice is that for some reason the background is grey. Right? I don't know why. There's clearly plenty of media in the library, and as soon as I click on something, of course, it goes into proper mode. It's frustrating when things do this, right? Now, I've got a bit of a quandary here as it comes to like copyright and things like that. So I'm not going to play any audio from the streams or anything like that. I don't know. Will I get away with playing video? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll find out. I'm not monetizing this stream. So, yeah. In terms of navigation, I'm not sure how I feel about this one with its menu bar at the top. Now I have to repeat everything I said again. Yeah, I suppose I do. But I've already forgotten what I said, so I hope you were listening. I'm not sure how I feel about this menu bar at the top. There's a couple of clients. Neptune's another one that has these menu bars at the top, right? And it just kind of, I don't know. This is the Jellyfin native. What's it called again? Swiftfin. That's the app we're looking at here. And so, like when I go through the movies, let's have a look at what the metadata looks like for all of these. I mean, let me get my face out of the way. Do we have audio in this one? Yes, we do. Good. Yeah, I mean, it presents some things that I want to see, right? So I've got my parental rating, so PG for this one. I've got the bit rate. I don't have the bit rate. I have the resolution. Big difference, right? Big difference. I've got basically what I would call the bare minimal information that a nerd that like anybody wants to know about a movie. And these recommendations are interesting, kinda, because like how is Barbie related to Back to the Future? I mean, if you look at my library here, Back to the Future's got more in common with Apollo 11 maybe than it does Barbie. I just love to know how it comes up with some of this stuff. Yeah, it's not, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like the most cohesive of experiences, this one. Subtitles, yeah, it just shows me and then it truncates by the time we get to Spanish. It just goes ... It's just like I've got all this screen real estate where they both start with a B. Yes, don't worry, Abro, I will come to Infuse. That might have been one of the things I said when I was muted. But yeah, you know, having tried Swiftfin a little bit for the last little while, I've not honestly been that impressed. Like, it's just details, right? Like the subtitle tracks or these audio tracks. Why are they not presented beautifully? It's just like, here is a list of text, and we're just going to show you the text. We're not going to do any formatting or anything like that. I don't know, it could just be a lot better. It works, I guess. And like, so let's take a look now at what the actual playback controls look like. I won't stream the movie. Let's get my face out of the way. Let's not do that, or Robert Zemeckis will hate me. Let's put me over there. Let's do that. So the only controls it looks like I have are, if I click on it, is that subtitles? If I swipe down, I swipe up. I'm swiping with the remote, and literally nothing is happening. So if I press the middle button, is that turning subtitles on or off? I have literally no idea. How am I supposed to select audio tracks in here? Okay, well, that's just rubbish. That's kind of rubbish. All right, so let's make some notes on Swiftfin. Overall UI is bare minimum, I would say. Playback interface lacks any meaningful controls on selecting which subtitle track, because we saw there was a good deal of them, right? I mean, we know that this file, where's it gone? Where's it gone? Is it me? There was a big long list here under about, we just looked at it, or was it a different file? No. Is that a bug? Is that a bug? I don't know. Let's try a different file just to be sure. Office space. Let's have a look. Okay, apparently everything's related to Barbie. All right, so subtitles, we know that we have these, right? We know we have these subtitles. If I click play. All right, I'm not playing the file, so please, copyright people, do not hate me. Again, I click the subtitles thing and nothing happens. I've got no... Oh, there it is. So I press the down arrow on the... Obviously, I press the down arrow on the remote and now I get controls. Okay, that's so obvious, isn't it? Swiping down doesn't do it like it does in some clients, but pushing down does. So I can select my subtitles that way. Okay, fine. Audio tracks, playback speed. That's nice. Not every single client has playback speed support, so I guess that's nice it has that. And then chapters. I haven't done trick play on this library, so trick play is how it would generate the chapter kind of thumbnails. All right, I'll give it a little. It's not obviously discoverable though. Like I would have hoped, like if you're a UX designer or UI designer or something, like when I'm on this screen, what visual feedback is there to tell me that there is another menu somewhere hidden in the background? There's no like down arrow. You see out the bottom, you've got that gradient fade up from the bottom with the playback progress bar. Yeah. Oh, and now I'm pressing down. Once. So, right, another UX problem. If I'm on this screen and I'm playing back my media and I press down, I get to this menu. But if I'm on this screen with this UI element loaded at the bottom and I press down, it doesn't pull down the top menu. So it's just really inconsistent. Not a fan of that. Not a fan of that. Perhaps you can tell that Swiftfin, I think, has some work to do. Not, you know, I don't mean to... It's just tricky. Like I don't want to be negative because I know this stuff is all like free and open source, and particularly Swiftfin is just a labour of love. Let's see how search works, shall we? Back to the Future. Oh, well that is a that's a UI bug right there. If I press down, it goes to the video. Yeah. Okay. Well, lovely. Let's see how TV shows present themselves. Let's have a look at this. Okay, so this is an interesting one, right? because quite often with you, to be honest with you, I want to just stream a random, play a random episode of a show. Like, it's actually less than half the time, I would say, that I want to just linearly watch a TV show. Like, more often than not, like, I want to go into the office, and this is picked up the American office when I actually meant the British one. But quite like here, for example, if I hold on play, do I get a shuffle option? No. I can mark it watched or unwatched. Okay, that's fine. But what I'd actually want here is a way to, like, just play a random episode. And, like, if I press and hold on the TV shows under Swiftfin, that doesn't seem to happen either. So, yeah, I give Swiftfin a solid C. Like, it plays the files, but it doesn't do very much more at all than just playback. You know? Look at the bloody mess over here on my rack. This is my sort of, like, testing. This used to be my sort of recording equipment rack for my drums. So I used to have a mixer in here and a Behringer X32 in there and all sorts. And now it's got like a Zimmer board cluster here that I 3D printed and a framework desktop I'm testing out for local AI stuff for work, and the perfect media server. All this rat's nest of stuff. It looks kind of like I'm on a green screen here, doesn't it? I'm not, I promise you. I've just got a big light over there, but it's kind of funny the way my hand's lit up there. Yeah, I'm doing a lot. Nice Jellyfin June thing is taking up a lot of my time at the minute. So, it's cool though that you're all here rather than watching the World Cup, or indeed later tonight the Carolina Hurricanes may win the hockey, or they may not. Let's look at the chat. I haven't looked at the chat for a little bit. Which speakers are those? Yes, these are the KEF here, the KEF LS50s, paired with this amplifier down here, which is the Musical Fidelity M3i. Little story about these speakers. About 12 years ago now, I left. I used to work for Apple Retail, and I left Apple Retail to go and do a computer science master's because I was in my spare time getting interested in Linux and compiling kernels and PCI pass-through and all that stuff. And my goal to myself was, if you get a job as a developer at the end of that master's year, you're allowed to buy yourself something nice with your first paycheck. And so these speakers were paid for with my very first ever paycheck as a software developer. And they will be with me until the end of my days. I will never ever get rid of them because they just they represent a lot to me, and they're in the back of every video. I love that, and now you all know. Okay, so Swiftfin is crappy. Is that? Am I being unrealistically harsh? I don't think so. Because there are better options already than Swiftfin. Not that we shouldn't keep trying these things, but now just drop the Apple TV and go Wolfin on the Shield. W Squirrel says, yeah. We'll do another one of these in a few days' time on the Nvidia Shield. Don't worry. How long were you a software dev? Well, I was a straight up dev for about a year. And then that company made an acquisition they couldn't afford, and very quickly, within about 3 months, went out of business, and laid everybody off. I didn't actually get laid off in the end, but I started the process of finding a new job, and then got a job as a DevOps engineer in London, because I actually found being a dev kind of boring. I found like maybe I just wasn't working on the right projects or something like that, but like every day was the same. Like the problems always felt like the same problems. Maybe I should have stuck at it a little longer, but honestly, I naturally gravitated towards fixing infrastructure problems, like automating development environments and putting stuff in AWS for them, and CI/CD and Docker. And anyway, we digress a little bit from Jellyfin, but yeah, is Swiftfin still in alpha? Someone verify that. I see the Brambles put that in the chat up there. I'd love to know if that's true or not. But yeah, I was a dev for about a year, and now I've been Well, and then I was DevOps for like 5, 6, 7, maybe. I don't know. I don't even remember. And then I was an OpenShift technical account manager for Red Hat for a bit, and now I'm at Tailscale doing developer relations stuff. Ain't that fun? Cool. All right, let's get back to the Apple TV, because that's why you're here, right? Probably. I imagine. Which client should we do next, people? We did. In fact, I'm actually going to shut you all up first. I'm going to go straight to test flight. Hello. I'm going to go straight to test flight and load up Neptune, because if you haven't seen this one, it is wicked. I've been talking to this developer Need for Swede on Reddit and Discord for a little bit. He seems like a nice guy. He used to, fun bit of history, like he used to be involved in the world of motorsports and stuff like that. So he and I nerded out over Formula One. I don't know if you can see over my shoulder. I have a Lewis Hamilton replica 2021 race helmet. 2021 deliberately, of course, because that was the year he won his 8th world title. Max Verstappen fans in the chat. That was rage bait. All right, so let's take a look at Neptune. This is like the most modern thing that I think I've come across so far, and it seems to have a lot of promise. So let's take a look. All right, Jellyfin, that's what we're here for. Let's search for servers, and again, it's probably only going to find my main server, not the one behind me. Interesting. It didn't even find that one. Well, there you go. Oh, okay, come on, Neptune. Right, let's enter the address manually. No big deal. But Jellyfin, Neptune dev, if you're watching, your auto discovery doesn't work. HTTPS jf.demo.ktz.me. Now I have this running through a reverse proxy caddy, I think, on a wildcard to get myself a TLS certificate, because I didn't fancy dealing with, you know, cert errors and all sorts of other stuff. I will do quick connect on the next one, just to show you all that it works, hopefully. But all right, let's sign in over here. All right, so I remember this onboarding wizard actually the first time I tried it out. It goes on quite a bit. It's quite long for the moment, but let's take a look. So Neptune works seamlessly with supported Jellyfin plugins to unlock additional features. Cool. Install the Neptune plugin suite. So it's installing. Okay, I think I need to do something on the server side to configure that. Which, do I have a screen share set up? Do I? But you can't hear me if I do that. So let me get the audio input copied across again. I'm enjoying the screenshot. Which screen is that even showing you? I don't even know what screen that's showing. That's amazing. All right. I am messing around with macOS screen capture. Yeah, okay. And we'll do display. We'll do that one. Yeah. Okay, because now you can see what's going on, I think. Right, cool. You can all still hear me and see me. Let's have a look. I feel like Gilderoy Lockhart. Can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? Let's just copy across the Alex screen so you can see my beautiful mugshot right here. There we go. Bop, bop. Right, lovely. Okay, by the way, I'm using an app called Bento Box to do all this with almost, some people ask me this. No cam, but we can hear. Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's all fixed now. It's good. I think, anyway, right? Yeah. What could go wrong tweaking OBS scenes on the fly? On the plugin side for Neptune, that's what we're doing, isn't it? Let's just make sure that we've got the right repos enabled, because that can be... Oh, interesting. So Neptune has gone already and added a couple of indexes to this thing. So even though it's telling me that it failed when I go back over here, let me just retry then. Resource not found. What resource? Neptune Jellyfin plugins. Let's see. Maybe I need to add a repo. Yeah, I probably need to add a repo. This is the Jellyfin experience right here, people. This is very authentic. I already have the repo, right? Yeah, it's already the same. Maybe it needs to restart Jellyfin and it can't. Available. Yeah. Yeah, maybe restart the server. That's a good call. Let me try that. But that's kind of crappy, huh? As an onboarding experience. You know, I was just coming at... Imagine talking a non-technical person through doing that on the phone in real time. Oh, wait. I realise you can't see. There we go. That's the view I wanted you to see. Yeah, imagine talking a non-technical person through that over the phone or something, huh? That would not be an easy proposition, would it? Right, let's retry. Now we've restarted. No, still not. Still not. All right, well, I'm going to move on. Okay. Well, no plugins detected. No, okay. But that's not right, though. That's not right, because it literally says when I look at... Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. It literally says when I go to the plugins area under here that I have Neptune indexers and mobile device management turned on. Anybody know? Yeah. Well. Available. Let's just see, because I did restart. No, there's nothing else here available. So, I don't know what else I can try, to be honest. I guess I just keep calm and carry on. Screw just Apple TV. There we go. All right. That's okay. Neptune works great without plugins. Wait, did I install that in the right Jellyfin? Yeah, I did. Demo. Yep. Just want to make sure I'm not misrepresenting anything here. Now, this is a really interesting part of... Yes, I did restart Jellyfin, Met Gator. This is a really interesting part of Neptune. The developer is doing what Infuse are doing and writing a custom video playback engine. Now, that might not sound like a big deal, but he was telling me that the licensing fees alone for Dolby... I don't want to reveal anything that I shouldn't, so I won't give you actual numbers, but the numbers involved are large to get a license from Dolby to play back Dolby Dolby content. So this whole section here with lossless audio and different codecs and stuff like that should not be underestimated. This Trident player actually seems to be pretty good, and it's up there with Infuse in my opinion so far. What else does it do? Playback caching, continue watching even during network interruptions. Yeah, nice. Hopefully not too many of those today. Okay, now this is very subjective, but I think the weakest thing about Neptune in general is this is how it looks. These icons just do not look premium. I can't put my finger on it, but I just don't like how it looks. Customize home screen, sure, fine. Your library, your way. Yep. Cool. What should we go for with this one? There are 3. See, this is too much for a first run. I should be given an option to do this at a later date, I think, because I don't really know what I want yet. do I want detailed or immersive are kind of similar as well, hey? Just slightly different. I think part of what I'm looking for is someone to make decisions on my behalf, and you know, like Plex did. You know, that's it's kind of part of the deal. You know, it's yeah. I'm just going to go with the default, which is detailed to start with. No, immersive. I like immersive because I can see the artwork from my show. How about that? Oh, got another choice. Oh. I have choice fatigue. Already. I have choice fatigue. Right, I'll just go with standard. Prompt search. Oh yeah, this is actually pretty cool. So you can hook up Neptune to AI. Don't click off. You can say to this boy at magic school, and it will use some algorithm. I don't fully quite understand how, if you don't hook it up to AI, but it has like a on-device something or other, which we can dig through the settings in a minute and have a look. There's a lot of stuff in there. But you can also hook it up to Olama as well, or any kind of other Open API compatible API, which is Open AI compatible API. Yeah, because that is how my brain works. It'd be like the episode of The Office with Dwight having his stapler in jelly or something, you know? It'd be pretty cool. Okay. Neptune dev. This onboarding wizard is way too long. I get it. You want to surface all the amazing work you've done. But this is too long. Okay, I'm just gonna. I'm not clicking anything here, by the way. This is just a video, I guess, that's playing. So I'm not even able to actually select the thing. Now these are features. Seer is a way to request media. It will hook into like SAB-NZBD and Usenet and all those kinds of nefarious content acquisition tools if you want it to. I'm not going to hook that up today, but it is cool when it works because you can just hook it up in the client and request a new movie or a TV show direct from your TV. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm going to skip it for now though, because I'm going to try and keep this above board. Built for the whole family. God, we're still going. How long has this wizard been going? Neptune supports multiple user accounts. Did Swiftfin support multiple user accounts? I don't recall. I don't think it did. But this is an absolute must-have feature for me with having a kid in the house. I've got to be able to put my profile behind a pin so that she doesn't have access to everything on the server that I don't want her to have access to. Personalize, yeah. We're finally through the wizard. Goodness me. How long did that take? It's a cool app. No doubt, but okay. Neptune can fetch metadata from additional sources when Jellyfin's metadata is incomplete. Would you like to enable this feature? Why wouldn't I want to enable this feature? I mean, I suppose the long-term fix would be to fix it in my Jellyfin library, but well, this looks a lot like Swiftfin out of the box, doesn't it? Like, this first view isn't the best, but then you go into like the movies view and stuff. Let me just start playing a movie, because I remember once I've got like a movie that's halfway in progress or something, it'll show me come on I'm just trying to skip to one. Okay, this. Oh, here we go. Right. It'll show me a beautiful view. That's not how one of my other client looks at all. Interesting. Where's the link to join the test flight for Moonfin? This isn't Moonfin. This is Neptune, just so you know. And they have all of their links. All of their test flight links are done through Discord. Even that's a bit of a palaver, to be honest with you. You got to select like 4 or 5 different options in their Discord server. Gentleman seems to be a fan of a wizard. We should take him to the Emerald City. Let's have a look. All right. Okay. I actually don't want to play this. I just want to skip a little bit. There we go. So we have an in-progress episode. There we go. Here's the view that I was expecting. Okay. So once you've actually started watching some media, and I suppose some of this is just because I'm coming at this as a demo instance where I don't actually have real world watch stuff going on. Like this view is just freaking beautiful, don't you think? Again, I'm not the world's biggest fan of the menu bar at the top. Looks a little dated to me. I would love to see them give us an option to move this menu bar to the left, like pretty much every other client seems to these days. The other thing that's kind of confusing as a user is to get to that menu bar from here. My first reaction was to scroll all the way to the top and click like 5 times, which does get me there. But let's say I'm hypothetically at the bottom of a list like this. I can also press the back button, and that will also take me up there as well. But notice how the color of the home icon doesn't really change. Just watch it really subtly. Okay, I'm going to click it in 3, 2, 1. Just very subtly, it kind of de-emphasizes the Severance thumbnail, and now I'm in this top menu up the top. I don't know how we make that more obvious, but I think we need to. Let's have a look at the movies option right here. Margin Call. Man, what a fabulous movie that is. Yeah, what a great movie. Let's have a look at this page, all right? This is the all-important page for me, so I can see things like codec, resolution, I can see the audio track, the ratings, the year it was made, and then there's a ton of stuff here, but again, it's very difficult for me to tell what's selected on the screen right now. Yes, you did just spot Silicon Valley. Why I'm sick. You did. I love that one. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff in here, like the trailer. I can go and let me just see if it wants to open YouTube. Cool, fine. I'm not going to do that. What other stuff do I have with Kevin Spacey in it? Anything? This is where the Seer integration is pretty cool, because you can actually just request any of these movies straight from the app, which is pretty nice. So that's pretty cool. More like this, Ford and Ferrari and Apollo. What's Ford and Ferrari got to do with Margin Call? Where are these recommendations coming from? How funny. Let's have a look at this feature, actually. I just noticed this one of edit images. This is really cool to be able to do this from the Apple TV client, don't you think? So I can now just search for a different version of Ford v Ferrari up here. This is another fabulous movie, by the way. It might be a little dramatized in places, but I very much enjoyed it. I watched it on the plane a couple of weeks ago. Fabulous. So back to the important thing. I love the fact that I can actually select these things from a client. Like, it's not very often these things get these things kind of get exposed to you at the client level. So really like that. I also am a fan of when the director gets featured in front of the actors, because yeah, the actors are important, but the director matters a lot too, and that's cool. All right, so that's the movies view. Let's take a look at the TV shows view. Yeah, God, it's so nice when you got the artwork up the top like that. So nice. Wait a minute, there's a new series of Rick and Morty? I didn't even know. I don't know, I haven't been feeling it quite as much. I don't think I felt season 8 quite the same as I did since what was his name? Dan Harmon? Was he the one that left, or was the other one that left? I can't remember. One of them was an alcoholic or something, allegedly. Just to cover myself. But yeah, does this have the shuffle mode either? Like if I press and hold on play? No. This is the other thing. Like it will almost... Oh, it does have a shuffle mode, but it's kind of like hidden. You see down here? If I press that now, shuffle is now on. So really, I suppose what I want, you know, like if I'm allowed to make a feature request at this point, I want a play button, but then right next to it, I just want a shuffle button that does, and just have those two things always there, because like I say, it's not very often I'm watching a TV show, particularly one like Rick and Morty. I'm not going to religiously watch episode 1 through 100 like in order. It's just not that kind of show, you know. Same goes for like old Top Gear and stuff like that. Like I just love to be able to shuffle. Like, so even if I press and hold on this one, I can't play from here. I have to go into the show and then select. No, that's not the cast and crew. Get out of town. That's incorrect. These three are the real three. Okay. So Neptune's pretty cool. Let's take a look at some of the other features it has. Let's take a look at the library view. Okay. Let me get my face out of the way. Browse by era. This one's pretty fun, right? So I can look for different decades. Let's have a look at the noughties and see what's going on. Interesting. So why does it show me Lord of the Rings when I don't have Lord of the Rings? Interesting. Where does it get that from? Is that just like a standardized image? And if so, why are they distributing a copyrighted image? I thought it would have generated that on off of my library. You see, I've got the Matrix in there. What's this one? Back to the Future? Is that? It's not the right image. I definitely don't have the Godfather. So these must be pre-baked. Is that what is that? Space Odyssey? Is that one 60s? Yeah. This honestly, I agree with the commenter actually that says this is more stable than a Disney Plus app on any platform. You're not wrong. Yeah. Okay. I'm clicking on these things, and nothing's happening. Now, another piece of feedback that a friend of mine told me about actually was like the play pause options. So like in this client, for some reason, if you press and hold, or you want to pause the movie by pressing the middle button like a heathen, it doesn't actually do anything, but you have to use the dedicated pause play button on the remote instead. It's not a big deal for me, but for some people it is. Right, let's take a look at the playback client controls, because that's something I gave Swiftfin a hard time for. Now, it's brought up the chapters. Why does it not give me the option to be... Actually, this movie's probably not the most safe to be scrubbing through, is it? there's a bit of shenanigans in this one. Let's do Office Space, because I know there's not in that one, really. Why does it not give me the option when I've pressed or swiped down? Like, I can see the chapters. You'd think it would magnetize to the chapters. It's a really small thing, but it doesn't really give me much of an option to skip chapters other than that annoying Apple TV like swipe motion on like the trackpad that is the middle of this remote, which I absolutely despise, but end up using more than I care to admit to. What else have we got? Playback speed. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. This, when I'm traveling, is a killer feature of Neptune. Did that just crash? I think it did. Was that because I wasn't playing the file? But I can change the bitrate of the file as I'm going in real time. Okay, well that seems to cause the client to crash. Dev. Yeah, developer. Hello. That thing is broken. Let me move my face out of the way because that's the exact area that we're looking at right now. And then let's just continue looking through the playback controls. Whoa, what did I do there? I pressed the play pause button whilst it was loading, and it brought up this massive menu that I've never seen before. Pinned at 03. What does that mean? Why do I need to pin a playing video? I don't really understand. Oh, this trackpad drives me crazy. Now, this, for a nerd like me, holy moly, look at this. Neptune gives me all of it. It gives me everything. It gives me the codec, the bitrate, the audio information. It's so nice. It's so nice. And it's also saying direct play right now. So if my commenter is correct that the changing of the bitrate causes a reload, does that mean Office Space is... No, it's not true. I don't think that's true. Let's look at the bitrate. So it is 29.2 megabytes a second. And I selected 8 and it isn't transcoding for some reason. I don't really know why. So... but anyway, as a nerd, like, I am finding that pretty cool. So this is using the Trident player. That's how we can get all this information on the screen like this, I think. Yeah, it's pretty cool. We're almost through Neptune, by the way. A couple more things to look at. Oh, yeah. I wanted to talk about this, actually. So this is how you select, like, subtitles and audio tracks in Neptune. And I don't love it, if I'm honest. I'm being very complimentary about it, which means that I, in general, like this client, but it does have some room for improvement. Under the settings, is that preferences, settings option there? I can select the subtitles and the chapters and the audio by going up and down like this. It's just clunky. It's just clunky to use. Like, it doesn't... Again, a bit like in the previous client where there was no obvious visual breadcrumbing. At least there is the up and down arrows on here to show me what's going on. But here it doesn't really show me... It doesn't make it obvious that I can select those various things. I would honestly rather have 6, 7, 8 icons at the bottom under where my head is, rather than have a sub-menu that brings up this very jarring like overlay menu. Anyway, it's personal preference. I totally understand that. Like, how things look is not subjective. But let's dig into the settings a little bit. Is there anything else you guys want to see in Neptune, by the way? Because there's a lot going on in the settings of this app. Like, just look at this. Would you just look at this? Like, let's look at search. Okay, because this is... oh yeah, we talked about the client plugins. But this is where it starts to do things like... well, let's try it. Rather than explain it, why don't I try it? What movies do I have? TV shows about a drunk uncle. How about that? TV shows about a drunk uncle who is a pickle. Okay, off to a good start. TV shows about a drunk uncle who is a pickle. Nope. Okay. Movie about a time machine flying car. Oh, okay. Tell me that's not cool. It took me a little bit to get it to work, but tell me that's not actually amazing. What other movies do I have? Movies about space. Okay. It's not perfect because, like, look at my movies. I know somewhere in here I've got Apollo 11. Like, that's about as spacey as not Kevin Spacey either. Is that why it showed me Margin Call? Because space has Kevin Spacey in it? I think it might be. But surely a movie about space would extend to Apollo 11, wouldn't it? What else can I search for? Balloons. Let me search for balloons. Let's see what. Well, no, let's do TV shows, because that... Let's just come up with something here. There's an episode of Top Gear, like, specifically in this series. Let's have a look and see if we can quote for it. It's just called episode 6. James Pitts and Alfa Romeo. Okay, let's do TV shows about Alfa Romeos, because that's really a really easy one. It's in the text of the description of the episode. So if it can't pick that up, then TV show about Alfa Romeo. Okay, does it take me straight to the episode or just the show? Ah, just the show. And boo. Yeah, no. Close. Close. It's close. But it's a cool feature, particularly if you start hooking it up to some of the other things that you can. So like under deep learning, look, so we're currently just using the Neptune API, but look at this. You can hook it up to all of, like, Open Router. Are you kidding? I can put this against any API that I want, any subscription that I might happen to have. That'd be pretty cool, huh? I want AI in my media playback client, said nobody, but actually this search is pretty cool. Like, just imagine you've got a library with like 1,000 titles in it, and you want to find the one with the flying elephant, and it brings up Dumbo straight away. I mean, that's pretty cool. It has potential. I will dig into that probably more in a future episode or something like that, and keep an eye on Neptune as it goes. But yeah, there you go. I think I've spent quite long enough on Neptune. This isn't an advert for them. I'm not affiliated or anything. They did just announce pricing. I think like lifetime pricing for this one is like $130 for a lifetime license for access to this specific app. So it's not free, but free doesn't necessarily. It doesn't. I don't think that's. I think that's a problem. Maybe the price is a little high. Like if you compare it to Infuse or something like that. Oh, Code has a good idea. Let me just ask that one more question before we go. I'll go off Neptune, I mean. Episode with Alfa Romeo. Shows and episodes. No, see, it takes me to the show. You can see it there. Look, it says Top Gear Show 2002. Yeah, unfortunate. It's close though. It is really close. But yeah, that's Neptune. I think by far and away this one has the most promise of all the clients that I've looked at on this Jellyfin June challenge so far. It's my favourite so far. What do we think of Neptune? Tell me in the chat. There is a dedicated... Oh, there's a dedicated episode finder. You do it from the show itself. Of course there is. Why is it not in the thing with the other thing next to the thing that I was already looking at? But, all right, so where is this dedicated episode finder? The Crazy Swede. Oh, I'm going to guess this is the dev. Need for Swede, maybe? I don't know. Hello, if it is you anyway. Where is it? I don't see it, my friend. Am I being obtuse? Highly likely. Is that it? There? Hidden? Find episode. Okay. Alfa Romeo. In the other window, if I just pressed and dictated, it then pressed enter for me. But on this one, I have to press search manually. It found two options. Why am I not getting the full episode artwork and stuff? But hey, we're off to a good start. I selected it and nothing happened. So I remain... I stick with my previous assessment of close but no cigar. It's pretty close. It's pretty close. Anyway, things like that really are just very small, overall usability concerns and things like that. So yeah, take a look at Neptune by all means. It's I think the most promising client that we've got available to us at the minute. We did look at Swiftfin. Somebody joined. Opinion on Swiftfin. It's fine. It's probably, I think I gave it a C, like an overall, like a 5 out of 10 maybe. It plays videos. It doesn't have anywhere near enough things exposed to it. So yeah. Swiftfin, fine. but not the best. All right, which one should we look at next? We've got Moonfin to look at. We've got Infuse to look at. We've got JellySee is another one. Like, if I... Yeah, just give me a list in the chat. Tell me what you want to see. JellySee. This one's a really obscure client, I think. I don't think many people know about this one, because I was trying to script some stuff with Home Assistant the other night where I've got a Zigbee button next to my bed, and I've got 4 buttons on this like Zigbee selector, and it lets me turn off lights and like put the house into bedtime mode, all that kind of stuff. And so I wanted to convert one of the buttons into a single press to turn the kids' cartoons on, because in the morning our kid climbs into bed and we watch an episode of something whilst we're still waking up, and then I just wanted to push a single button. This one has like a scriptable interface to it, which is pretty cool. And it's actually not a bad client either, so let's take a look at it. I don't think many people know about JellySee, so let's get logged in. Did say I'd do quick connect, didn't I? But that involves juggling windows and stuff, and this honestly isn't that difficult to do. We are only looking at Apple TV clients today. Yes. NVIDIA Shield will come in a future episode, but I think it's not unreasonable to think that people that have Apple TVs are in a slightly different group to those that have NVIDIA Shields, maybe. I mean, I have both, so maybe other people have both, but yeah, let me get my face out of the way. This is JellySee. Like, straight up, look at this. How beautiful is this? Like, it looks like a proper streaming service out of the box, eh? Look at it, and it's even got the Office correct. How about that? Look at that. Oh yeah. Now, this playback window is probably actually one of the best that's here. This feels very Apple TV native. So, like, I've got all my episodes here in the series. That David Brent scene where he does like the Boy's Own thing. It's so funny. I know it's really dated now and some of the jokes don't hold up, but boy howdy. I remember when The Office first came out on British TV. I was a teenager, and like I was watching it one evening, and I know the point of it at the beginning was to not know if it was real or not. It took me more than half an episode, I think, as a teenager to work out that it was like a comedy. It's so good. You see what I mean? Like, this is how a UI should be done for selecting. I hope the Neptune dev has a look at this one, because I really do like JellySee. It's got a lot of promise. So yeah, if I am on this screen and I press the enter or select, that stops and pauses it, right? And apparently this client uses the Apple provided native video player as well, which is pretty cool to know. Thank you, commenter. Dots are cool, man. Yes, they are. So how do I bring up this screen? I keep getting there by accident. I press the up arrow on the remote. I can change the subtitle offset. Pretty good. I can change the subtitle style. Hey! Like, I'm not visually impaired. Not really. But I can imagine for those that are, holy moly, that's a cool feature. Change the padding, the background, the outline. Wow, that's a really nice feature. Well done. Info. Ha! Okay. So I've got all of my nerd level stuff here, look. All the different playback info and frame rates and nerd level stuff. Yeah. Cool. I see the crazy Swede is talking about Neptune again briefly, saying the iOS client has been submitted to test flight and will hopefully go live soon. So you heard it here, maybe second or first, I don't know. I heard it here first, that Neptune's iOS client is very close. I'm excited about that one. We'll do a separate video on iOS clients as well, by the way, and a separate video on Android clients, because I think it just makes sense to have each thing kind of laid out like that. What's this one? Playback speed, surely? Yeah, cool. See, I just find this so much more intuitive. I know I keep banging on about it, but Audio track not specified. Okay, this file doesn't have multiple audio tracks. Let me find one that does, because I think it's important to show this stuff. This client, by the way, is JellySee. JellySee. Ugh. This is something that drives me crazy about the Apple TV. This isn't a Jellyfin thing. Like, if you press go and then back too quickly, you end up back on the home screen unless the app has initialized, and then you press the back button and it's all fine. Like, there's that 2 or 3 second like lag whilst it's loading up. It drives me crazy. Like, it happens in YouTube all the time. Discover, this is where it would plug into JellySee, or plugs into Sia now, I should say. It got renamed, didn't it? Yeah, I won't go into that too much today. But under settings, you can see Jellyfin settings here. We've got auto skip for intros. I didn't see any of that in Swiftfin. I don't recall. I'm sure Neptune has it as well. I don't actually have that plugin installed on this demo server yet, so I can't actually show that today. Although I should probably get that before I release the video. Ooh, HDR and Dolby Vision. Yeah, let's turn that on. Why not? Hardware decode. See, there's just tons of options in this client, eh? It's a great client. JellySee. I bet I'd love to know who'd heard of that one before we started, because there is some really cool stuff in this client. App icons, top shelf style poster row. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a balance, isn't it, between like the Neptune one that had like the endless wizard when you got started, and this one where I have to go spelunking for the options that I want. Like, it's trying to expose this stuff to users, otherwise people just won't use it, and you put all this dev time into something that people don't use. I kind of get it, but at the same time, like, I don't know, it's a tough balance. Oh yeah, profiles. Okay, JellySee supports different profiles, so I can have, in fact, do I have Sia configured on the other server? I don't think I do, because I just wiped it when I did the video a couple of weeks ago. But I was going to find a movie, wasn't I, with multiple audio tracks, and not that one, because it has some silliness in it, which doesn't need to be on stream. Okay, what have we got here? We've got trailer, I presume, and then this one is info. Okay, it's an interesting way to do it. HDR10, Dolby Atmos. Yeah, doesn't show me the director up front, which is something I liked about what Neptune does. It's just interesting, isn't it, how these things all are just slightly different, you know. Variety is the spice of life. Okay, let's have a look at chapters. Okay, well, this is crashing. I'm trying to load this HDR file and the video player is crashing. Is that because I changed something in the settings? Let me go back and unchange that HDR setting that I changed. See what happens. Because this is not an HDR compatible capture device. So, like, some of these features, it's very hard to capture on stream. Whereas if it was just hooked up to your TV normally, it would just work. But let's just see. Is HDR going to work this time? Yes. What's that little bug up there in the top corner? You see that flashing? What is that? What is that going on about? Okay. How do I select audio tracks like that? Audio track not specified. This only has one audio track? I find that hard to believe. Chapters. Yeah. Again, if I had trick play enabled, that would show me all the thumbnails. Nice. Cast and crew. Yeah. Well, that's JellySee. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool client. Think you'll agree. CAC. I don't know what that is. CAC causes some of the clients to crash. JellySee kept crashing over time I used it, says MetGator. It does look decent. Yeah, I would say my top two right now are Neptune and JellySee. Definitely. All right, let's take a look at Moonfin, because this one, I believe, please chat, correct me if I'm wrong, this one came from Android and ported itself over, or this iOS release is brand new, I think I'm right in saying that. And so there are some bugs. I've seen some stuff in Reddit this last couple of weeks. going on about there being some bugs here. So I'm not going to connect this to my main server. I'm going to do my demo server. jf.demo.ktz.me. Are there any Apple TV clients for Jellyfin that support live TV? Don't talk to me about live TV. Good gracious me. That has been a whole thing. Let's do this. Okay. So I'm going to show Quick Connect now, which is a pretty nice feature. Except I've forgotten what the code was. I think it was this one. 898629. 898629. If I come back over here, there you go. It's connected. In the time it took me to change the scenes in OBS. I need to create myself a new scene in Stream Deck, which is going to screen only, I think. Hello. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's a little bit buggy, but it'll do the trick. All right. Which client are we in here? I forget. Moonfin. Again, you see, it's got this same paradigm of having all the stuff at the top. Not a fan. I mean, I guess if everybody's doing it, then it becomes the style, doesn't it? But, ooh, a shuffle button. Oh, I love this. Yes, yes, yes. Shuffle by. Oh, wait, it just shuffles the show? It doesn't actually shuffle the episodes? Oh, we were so close. Let's see. Did it say quick shuffle random? Yeah. Well, that was pretty cool. Moonfin client. Oh, hello. Nice to see you in the chat. I assume you are the developer for it. That's pretty cool. Let's see. You say I can enable a sidebar in the settings. Let's have a look. Under. Oh, I can barely see what I'm selecting here, my friend. This is always a tricky thing with 10-foot interfaces. Where you see, like, I currently have the about option selected right now. And I'm going to go up one in 3, 2, 1. And now I have integration selected, and like I can just barely make out that that's what's selected because it's got a dark grey background. But it's really difficult to tell, actually. Focus border color, maybe that would help. Maybe if I make it neon pink. Let's see. Select your app. Let's do a neon pulse. Oh my god. I feel like I'm in Cyberpunk. Glass. Wow, that's cool how it changes like all the fonts and everything as well. I wasn't expecting that. There's a question here in the chat asking what UI framework Moonfin uses. I agree. I don't think this looks like Swift UI at all. Where is the option to change to the left side menu? I want to see that. Mr. Dev. How do you, whilst, oh, all right, I guess it's going to be on navigation, isn't it? Navbar style top, there you go. Let's do it on the left. And I can stop mithering you about that. Navbar color grey. Let's do something like teal just to make it really obvious. Home screen. Yeah, cool. I won't go through all that right now. Pretty cool. Lots of options in here. Integrations. Let's have a look at that. There's always going to be some fun stuff in here. SIA. Yeah, that seems to be a pretty standard thing actually now. Server plugin sync. Right, Mr. Moonfin Dev, you're in the chat. Can you tell me what that does? And I'll tell the good people on the stream in a minute. Enable push and pull settings sync with the server plugin. Does this mean, I'm going to extrapolate that this means that I can have a single configuration for all of my Moonfin clients and have it pushed out to all those Moonfin clients? If so, that's pretty cool. All right, let's have a look at some of the actual playback features. Hey, you see? My little teal selection of the colors clashes so horribly with media. I kind of love it. Yeah. Okay. There's a question here from Luke Mac 19. Do you keep your Linux ISOs and media devices like Apple TVs on a separate VLAN from your main NAS? How do your ACLs handle cross VLAN access to a trusted LAN? Well, actually, for a lot of the videos I do for work, I have a dedicated VLAN that is in the 192.168 IP range, mostly so that when I do a video for work, it translates better to other people. The perfect media server behind me is actually on, this box here, is actually on that test VLAN. This Apple TV is currently on my main network VLAN. I've experimented with VLANs so much over the years, and I've just come around to the opinion that generally at home, put a username and password in front of your Samba share and make sure you've got SSH auth handled properly, and the rest kind of just takes care of itself. Like, I don't have any complicated VLAN rules. I certainly could if I wanted to with Unify, but I just find their zone-based update they did a few months ago, it might have been a year ago now, honestly, I find it confusing AF, and I just end up putting myself in rabbit holes and just get really confused. So, all right, back to Moonfin. Yeah, let's have a look. Let's do home. Okay. So I'm pressing. There's a little bit of weirdness here, like as I'm going up and down. Like, do you see that as it switches between like the portrait version, and then it's kind of fun how it shows you the video playing. I also don't necessarily love that because, I don't know, you could accidentally see bits of things that you didn't mean to see and you're not watching them. I'm sure you can turn it off. I'm definitely going to turn that bit off. Lockstock is not the right movie for this stream. Yeah, you see these weird gaps going on. Like, I think I understand what's happening. Where it says Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives, there's a big like gap underneath the thumbnail, and then I press down, and then that big gap just stays there. It's a very small thing, but like it just makes the experience feel a little disjointed. As I'm scrolling up and down, things are moving all over the place, and it's just a little distracting. Yeah, let's take another look at this one. Okay, again, this page is quite busy. You think? Let me get my face out of the way. A lot of information on here, but it's just quite busy. Like, I'm presented with all the same options that we've seen in some of the other clients, but it's just very dense feeling. I don't know if it's because the text around the description's so big, or the thumbnail's so small, or like the I try to put my finger on it. It's very subjective though. But yeah, let's take a look at this. Okay, so this is an interesting thing that I've noticed in a couple of clients, where if you select the audio track ahead of time, it means you can't select it in the player. So let me just see what the Moonfin player is actually all about. Can I select audio tracks in the player? Interesting. Maybe the dev can comment on this, because I noticed something just then. So under audio, I've got True HD 7.1, English, and then I've got the 2 commentary tracks. But when I'm in the show itself, when I'm in the movie itself, it doesn't show me anything other than default and N for the EN for these. I'll show you what I mean. Hang on. So like here, for example, let me pause this. In this list, look, I don't get like 7.1 and 5.1 exposed to me. I've just got basically 2 English tracks. but when I'm selecting the audio in the previous screen, it gives me more feedback on what's going on. Probably a very small fix, but it's just, I don't really know which track I'm selecting here anymore. Okay, apparently Jen Mowat is involved somehow with the Moonfin project and says that navigation and spacing issues are apparently fixed in the latest test flight for Moonfin. Okay, yeah, and apparently the audio thing also. Okay, well, sorry guys, I didn't know you had a test flight. That's probably on me. I will take a look at that before I make the main video. Cast and crew, cool, nice. Audio, cast and crew, playback quality. Oh, another one that lets me select. Does this one work? Unlike Neptune, that didn't. I don't know. I don't know if it's transcoding. There's no visual feedback on the screen. No, still direct play. So is that a bug? Is that fixing the test flight too? Maybe. 54.5 megabytes per second, or megabits. I always get those wrong, so please don't hate me. Playback quality. Yeah, see? Set to 8 meg. So that should be transcoding now, right? I'm not doing anything wrong, I don't think. Is there anything else down here in the corner? Yeah, just a nice little NZAT. I always like that. It's a very small touch, but I always like that when a client tells me that. Okay. Let's see how it handles TV shows. I think sort of the movie experience, like the playback client on-screen experience, is pretty good. I'm clicking my remote. Come on, bruh. I can't go down anymore. All right. Well, that'll probably do us for Moonfin anyway. I think it's pretty promising, you know, how it's very, very new on the scene, and it's already so good. Promising, I think, is my overall review of Moonfin. Some work to do, of course, but sounds like a lot of stuff's happening in flight, as it were. Let's have a look at Plezy. This is a new one that I haven't actually even spun up yet, so I don't exactly know what's going to be going on with this one. Let's get logged in. How can I select? Okay, we're off to a bad start. It's not giving me the Apple TV keyboard. Isn't being exposed. Oh dear. Am I going to have to type? Oh, Plezy. Oh, please. Please expose the keyboard to me. Oh, God, that sucks. All right, I'm not typing that in. I'm just going to go with my main server and hope that nothing goes wrong. No reachable Jellyfin service found. Huh? Maybe I can edit this one more easily. Oh, this is a disaster. Oh, right. I can't be bothered with Plezy. I'm not typing in a URL. I know that's a little bit weird to say, but honestly, there are plenty of other clients that can figure that out. So, what is JellyTV? Is this even a Jellyfin thing? Yeah, okay. It made it look like it was like Apple TV Plus or something. Okay, server address. There we go, you see? When you expose the right intents, I can now type. Yeah, there you go, perfect. Well, I can sort of kind of approximate typing. .me. Are these all the kinds of things you guys want to know in the video, by the way? Like codec supports and just what the playback interface feels like, and I will take a proper look at Plezy. I just mean, like, I'm not going to do it on the stream. I'm not going to sit here and make you all watch me typing into typing on a remote. What client is this again? JellyTV. Okay. Yeah, okay. I remember this one now. I have actually spun this up on the main TV downstairs. $15, $34 for lifetime. Admin tools. Okay, cool, I guess. Don't really understand what that gives me though. Like, developer of JellyTV. Do better job on explaining what these things are at the moment of purchase. I don't quite know. What does premium access get me? Not sure. Okay. Let's have a look. Does this have a? Oh, it has a this is. Ooh, this is an interesting little menu. Admin. What does that get me? Admin tools. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to stop using my phone because I keep overshooting with the trackpad on my phone. Let's go into a Rick and Morty episode. Quick setup before your first video starts. Okay, let's just click continue. Autoplay next episode. Fine. Auto skip intros. Fine. Playback speed 1x. Yes. Yeah, I'm not Gen Z, so 1x is fine for me. Okay. This feels very sparse, but at the same time I don't know what else I would need. Let's have a look. A little bit of a UI bug there, I guess, with the description box overlaying. Subtitles. Yeah, I can select subtitles. Audio track. Yeah, okay, I can select the audio. Can I select the quality? Is that going to transcode in on the server? It looks like it might. Or not. It might not. Liquid Jellyfin, yeah. Okay, well that breaks the thing, doesn't it? Let's see. Is that a what is going on? Oh, there we go. It's just really slow. It's just really slow. Let's have a look at the server and see what it's doing. Just real quick. Because I don't know if I have hardware transcoding actually working on this server. Intel GPU tools, I think it is. Yeah. So this is the perfect media server that I built for the video last week. No, that's what's going on then. So it's trying to hardware transcode and it's not, so it must be doing it in software. It's no wonder it took a little while. So I'll forgive it. If I press play now, surely it's going to... Yeah. Yeah. It comes up in software. So anyway, it's got nothing to do with the clients. Just find it interesting, like debugging my stuff in real time. Okay. That's cool. That's cool that works. It didn't work in a couple of other clients. So filters. What filters? Oh, well, this could be useful on certain TVs. Like my TV that I have in the garage is a really old, cheap Black Friday set that I bought 7 years ago, and it has absolutely crap contrast. So it could be handy to be able to spin that up in the player itself. Not a feature I was expecting, to be honest, but it's nice to see it. So the player on this one looks pretty good. What's catalog? Okay, another integration with SIA. Cool. Search. Let's give search a good go here, shall we? Run, fat boy, run. Okay, cool. Nice, responsive. I don't suppose I can do the Neptune style Alfa Romeo. No, didn't think I would be able to. Okay, well, that is a cool client. JellyTV. There you go. I should probably subscribe to their admin thing at some point and have a look at that, shouldn't I? In the interests of completeness for the videos. Okay. So this gives me a bit better idea what I'm actually paying for here. iCloud Sync. It's nice. Exclusive app icons. Literally don't care. Ugh. UI. Apple TV UI is sometimes really annoying. Tracked Sync. That's really nice. Jellythink AI. Okay, well now I've got to subscribe. Let's do it. $34. Just to try it out. Can I not have a free trial for a couple of days? $34 is a bit much just to satisfy some curiosity. Monthly, I suppose. It's right in front of me. Free for 7 days. Let's do that. Subscribe to JellyTV. Yeah, fine. Thank you for buying JellyTV Plus. I didn't have to approve that on my phone. It's the easiest way to spend $2 ever. Oh wait, ready to upgrade? Did the upgrade actually go through? Ooh. What's this? This is the admin UI, huh? Scan. Oh, I can initiate a scan on my Jellyfin library from here. All right. Hey, I can, and I just heard the fan spin up behind me. The server's literally just there, and I can hear the fans through my headphones. Users. What can I do here? Activity, alerts. I mean, none of this stuff is necessary, really. But it's also kind of nice to have it in a client, I think. Yeah. Interesting. I don't know as I'd pay $34 for it, but then it also included the Jellything AI, right? Right? I remember reading that. Does that include, what does that include? Connected apps, Seer, AnyList, Tracked. Okay, those are premium features. What's the AI feature for this one? Yeah, Overkill Pinball. So this evening, I've looked at a handful of clients already. This is JellyTV. I was looking at, well, I tried to look at Plezy, but I didn't get logged into that one. Looked at Moonfin for a little bit too. We also looked at JellySee, which was really good. Looked at Neptune, which was really good. All of these things have some teething issues around the edges, but this space is evolving. This space is evolving so fast at the minute. Like, I think the Plex news a couple of weeks ago, you'll know I've made a shitload of videos about it, but that news has really kicked this ecosystem into overdrive, and I think it's only a matter of time before we've got 3 or 4 genuinely really amazing clients, whereas right now we've got a handful of almost amazing clients. Like, we're really getting there. Yeah, so if anybody happens to know the JellyTV thing that I just spent some money on, if you happen to know what their AI thing is, that was what I was curious on, because I was wondering if it was like search. Yeah, there's a bunch of interesting, like, each of these clients, honestly, it's a voyage of discovery. They all do things differently. They've all got their own little quirks, and they've all got their own little features. And I sound like Doug DeMuro, don't I? Quirks and features. Yeah, the ecosystem's growing. So I mean, there's several of the developers to different apps are in the chat right now, which is amazing to see. Like, I can't imagine the Plex devs dropping into a live stream about Plex. Can you? Particularly not on a Saturday night. Amazing. All right. I think I've probably got 1 or 2 more apps in me tonight before my voice gives out. So I'm going to look at Infuse next. Now, this is a paid app, I know for sure, and I've actually used Infuse for quite a long time. It's a bit weird. like how this is all laid out. Like it's a little bit clunky how it's all laid out. Let me get my head out of the way up here. So how you do this is you go, so it also syncs with iCloud Sync. So this has already got some of my existing stuff in it. So I'm going to go in and, is it shares or is it library? I always get so confused. So you go from the Infuse home screen, you go into settings, because the app itself doesn't provide any content. You go to shares, and then you go to add media server, and then you can add Jellyfin this way. And I'm going to just bring up my Apple TV remote on my phone. Right, I'm going to put in the URL. This part's broadly the same, but because Infuse has a bunch of other features that don't depend on Jellyfin as well, like it's no, I don't want to do that. It is thank you for leaking that email address on stream. I'm so grateful to you for that. It is it's just like Jellyfin is, and Plex and all those other integrations, that they feel like a bit of an afterthought, because the library situation on how it shows up in Infuse is just weird. It's just weird. So let me put that back down here, actually out of the way. Where can I be out of the way on this stuff? I suppose I could make this a little smaller, and then I'm out of the way as well. There you go. So what I need to do now is I need to go along this favorites option here and select the specific Jellyfin server I want to be looking at. And then I can go into that context of that specific server. And then I get this view. And like everything plays pretty nice. Like it eventually loads the thumbnails and all the rest of it. And this view I actually find to be very nice. It's very clean. It's very, I don't know, it's just nice. Does it have all of the information about like codecs? And I suppose it's got resolution and DTS master audio and stuff like that, and the Jellyfin rating and what have you. Okay. So then the player, what happens with the player? Because this is where things really start to matter, isn't it? As you saw, performance there was pretty good. And you see how, like in, was it Swiftfin right at the beginning that I didn't like how it didn't have any UI like breadcrumbs? Swipe down for info. Look, so I can select here info, video, and it's very easy to overshoot with the trackpad on the Apple TV remote. But the Neptune dev, if you're still watching, this is actually a pretty good way to do it, I think. And I can go in here and I can select all the different options for like subtitle delay and audio delay and all that stuff. I can change, I mean, there's honestly a bunch of really cool stuff in here, like AI upscaling, and it's all built right into the client, which is really nice. Yeah, I don't know why that's going off the top up there. My capture is 4K and it's like truncating the playback stats box at the top. I don't really understand why. Let's see if I do compact what that does. Because I'm a nerd, and sometimes when I'm testing stuff out, like I need to know what the bitrate is and the frame rate and all that stuff. What else do we got? That's okay. We've got chapters. Oh, no, weirdly, we've got all the other media in my library. Playback queue. That's weird. Okay. See what I mean? Like this whole ecosystem is just full of, it's like a voyage of adventure. Each client is just different, which I suppose is the beauty of it, really. But why did pressing the back button from the file itself take me back to the desktop of the Apple TV on the last time? And I pressed it once there and it just got rid of the playback controls. And now like it's just inconsistent, man. The UI intents in Apple TV is just a disaster. It drives me crazy. Then the other thing it can do, that Infuse can do, is it will show you like this library view, and then it uses all of your available Jellyfin, Plex, and otherwise libraries to generate these like all movies views. So this is going through every media you see, I've got stuff from work, screen shares and video recordings from my YouTube stuff, and podcast at bitflip.show. If you're interested, I spun up a new podcast recently with some buddies of mine. I don't know. Infuse is really handy. It is useful to have as a backup, but it's not my first choice. Their play is pretty good. If you want like hardware accelerated playback as well, Infuse is pretty good because they have, like Neptune does, they have their own player that they've got their own license with Dolby for, and so it's just the playback is better. Like in Plex, I used to have stuff just stutter all the time on the Apple TV, and then I'd switch that same file to Infuse and it would just work. So yeah, I think that's a pretty good overview of Infuse. It's just really confusing to know which library I'm in. Like demo here, Alfa Romeo. Oh no, I didn't. This is another thing about the Apple TV. If you press the button on the side to trigger the voice control when you're not in a search box, it will bring up Siri. But if you are in a search box, you can hold to dictate, like Alfa Romeo. God. Alfa Romeo. Yeah. Let's just try one more. Run, fat boy, run. Okay. So it does work. Like if you know the name of the media you want, it does work. And you can see the performance. Are we going to get the thumbnail? Are we going to get the metadata? The cast and crew? No? Oh, there we go. This movie is dreadful, by the way, but it was the one that my wife and I saw on our very first date together. So there you go. Are there any other Jellyfin clients that anybody wants to see tonight? Because I think my voice is about to give out if I talk for much longer. But see what the chat's doing. Yeah, more like Confuse, memes 2K. Yeah, Infuse. People always parrot it as like the solution, and it's just not. It's pretty handy. It's pretty handy, honestly, when you are trying to load your kid's iPad up with a bunch of media before you go on a trip. Because I don't know if many people know this, but you can actually turn Infuse into like a file server and have all of the it's like in a web browser. You can just drag and drop files that way. It's pretty handy. But yeah, interesting. Infuse has been around for 13 years and Neptune is 6 months old. Trident will get there. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Like if you've only been going for 6 months, holy cow. So that's pretty much the Apple TV landscape. Let me just see if there's anything else obvious in the App Store that we have missed tonight. See what I mean about pressing the back button too quickly? Jellyfin. Yeah, we didn't look at Plezy, did we? There's D-Jelly, there's... I mean, honestly, Streamyfin. I've got to look at that one. This will be the last one. Streamyfin will be the last one. This one is excellent, actually. Not that it doesn't have some peculiarities like all of the others. I agree with that comment. Dot's a cool man. It says that Neptune, and he's tagged the crazy Swede dev for Neptune in the chat, saying that Neptune is already better than Infuse in many ways. I support that. Right, let's see what Streamyfin is. This is another one that has a plugin that lets you do centralized mobile device management. so you can push out to all of your clients, say that the maximum resolution they can view at is 720p or whatever, or that they must direct play or whatever. I don't know, but no, yeah, okay, sure. Right, let me put that back full screen because it's kind of confusing to have the black background like that. Get me out here, out of the way. So this is Streamyfin. This is another option in the ecosystem. We're so blessed, aren't we? I mean, I'm not religious or anything to say blessed, whatever, but like, it's just a really amazing thing that we've got so many clients. Look at all these clients. We didn't even do Plezy tonight. You know, it's actually amazing. I should give Plex the same treatment, shouldn't I? I should be like, what are all the things that Plex gets right and gets wrong? Because I've been giving everybody else a hard time. Performance on these things honestly seems pretty good. None of these clients really tonight have had any issues with stutter, or maybe Moonfin, but they said it was fixed in the latest test flight. So I will get on the test flight after I finish doing this stream tonight. All right, let's have a look at the home screen. Again, it's got my most favoritist top nav, which you know how much I love that by now. Even during this stream, look, we've started to get more in-flight media, which is pretty nice. It's also just annoying how it's so wrong. The thumbnail is wrong, but I can't fix it from here. So let's go into a specific episode page and see what we get. So we get an actual what's that called? Thumbnail? Yeah, my brain's fried, guys. We get a thumbnail from the episode itself. Do we see the bitrate? It just says quality max down here. Oh, that's kind of nice. Yeah, I mean, I can select this ahead of time. Okay, that's pretty nice. But it would be nice to know what the bitrate of the file is before I do that. Same with audio. That seems fine. Subtitles, yeah, fine. Cool. Again, no shuffle option. Am I out to lunch wanting a shuffle option on my TV shows? Where is recently added in TV, The Office? Here we go. If I press and hold, do I get a shuffle? No. Apple TV sometimes, man. I mean, that's pretty nice. I think I'd prefer this to have like season 1, season 2 like laid out so I could see what's available, but it's not a big deal. Not really. Let's see what the player is like. Okay. It feels like a very different UI to all the others, doesn't it? Audio, I can select there. The audio, the subtitles. Presumably this is downloading using the Open Subtitles plugin. If so, that's pretty cool. I think a couple of the other clients support that too. Playback, subtitle scales and all that. Yeah, interesting stuff. Very minimal, I would say, compared to some of the other options as a client here. Where's... Ugh. I lost where my focus was. There we go. And what is this code option? Oh, there we go. See, for nerds, we love this stuff. Let's see what the Barbie movie looks like. Because I'm pretty sure that's a very high bitrate file, right? HDR and all that. Okay. True HD, 7.1 bit rates. Doesn't tell me what the video bitrate is, though. No? Weird. Why wouldn't it tell me that? It tells me it's a direct stream. That's nice. Let's see what it does when I put it down to like 1 megasecond. Because this is a chunky file, I'm pretty sure. Transcoding because the bitrate exceeds the limit, or because that's what I told you to do, I guess. Yeah, incredible quality for 103 kilobytes per second. Yeah, that doesn't work. Or if it does work, it takes too long, and I can't be bothered to wait. Streamyfin, that's what this one is. Yeah, Streamyfin. Doesn't show the director at the front there, but it does show them here. By the way, if you've ever been... Don't sleep on this movie. If you haven't watched the Barbie movie, of all movies, I wasn't expecting a takedown of the patriarchy from the Barbie movie, that's for sure. But it was pretty good. My kid loved it for a while, so I've seen it about 1,000 times. But I don't really mind. It's pretty good, actually. Streamyfin's pretty good overall. No real complaints. I mean, it feels a little bit behind like Neptune in terms of polish, and behind JellySee as well in terms of polish. Like in terms of the features and stuff, it doesn't have any of the fancy like AI powered search, and I mean, really genuinely, that is like a really innovative feature where you can say, show me the episode where Rick's a pickle or something. Not that it quite works yet, but I think we'll get there pretty shortly. Yeah, Streamyfin, it's nice. It's nice on iOS, I'll tell you that, definitely. I've used Streamyfin on the phone a little bit, but as a TV client, Streamyfin is a solid, I don't know, I put it up there with Swiftfin, to be honest with you. Maybe a little above, because you got the transcoding options in there, which I know I didn't get to work, but I think that's an Alex problem, not a Streamyfin problem. But we were going to look through the App Store just a little bit more, weren't we, just to make sure I hadn't missed anything obvious, like Streamyfin, before I close out. If there's any other clients that you want to absolutely definitely see, drop me a comment. I'm on the bitflip.show Discord all the time if you want to come find me over there. Bitflip.show is the name of the podcast. I'm not a hard chap to find. Like, I'm on Mastodon. God, my brain is fried. See, like, there's all these ones I want to find, like Liquid Fin and Reefy and Oops. Finer TV. Ask for music. Okay. Divar. Yeah. I mean, I could literally be here for a year. Okay, I do want to show just one more. Nostalgex. This is fun. This is like, if you've ever looked at like Ursat TV or something like that for Plex. It's actually, there's a version of this called Bunny Ears for Plex that turns your server into like cable TV, so it gives you like program guide and stuff like that. It's just a really innovative and interesting way to play your media back to you. This one is rough around the edges. It's still very new, I think, but just look at this thing. Like, if I go into settings, I think I need to enable some more bundles. My library is very small, so let me just turn on like as many of these packages as I can so that you get a fair idea of what's going on. Okay, there you go. How cool is this? Okay, Praetor, I'm not killing game with the case insensitive HTTPS. iOS is killing game with the case sensitive because it just uses the native keyboard. It just uses the native keyboard integration, which on a Mac and iPhone wants to capitalize everything. And then halfway through typing the URL, it will wipe out what's in the box, and then it will recapitalize the first letter in the box after it's wiped out what you're already halfway through typing. Dude, it's not good. It's no good. It's no good. Why? Who tests these things? And I don't think it's anything to do with the clients, because it happened in every single client tonight, if you noticed. Yeah. Crazy. Anyway, look at this Nostalgex thing. Isn't this just the coolest thing? Let me get my face out of here. There you go. I can just bring up the thick of it. There you go. And it's even got silly like VHS lines and everything. Stop. I don't want to get a copyright strike. No, thank you. No. I've deliberately not done any playback of any media tonight, so hopefully I don't get one, but I can't pause it, man. I can't pause it. Go away. I can't. Anyway, you get the idea about Nostalgex at this point. Dots a Cool Man says, when developing the app, the dev can choose the capitalization behavior. I guess that's when you are selecting in Swift UI or something like that, right? The text box. You're trying to select the intent of the text box to be like, this is a password field, this is a username field, and then that each one has a different. Yeah. Well, anyway, there you go. I was going to take a bunch of notes as we went tonight, but I didn't in the end. Let me know what else you want to see. I could probably keep going for another 2 hours, but I don't have it in me, I'm afraid. So, USA office versus UK office. Yeah, it's... Oh, Praetor, come on, dude. You got to at least watch one of them. The US office is quite an investment in time, I'll give you that. It's like 8 or 9 series, of which 90% of them are 24 episodes, back when TV was actually like for cable or whatever. They're both completely different shows, though. Like, in the beginning, the very first episode, the very first series was Ricky Gervais rewriting the British office for the American audience, and it didn't land anywhere near as well. And then by season 2, and certainly by 3 or 4, Michael Scott or Steve Carell really stepped up and really found his feet in that role, and it just got really, really good there. What other must-watch TV is there? I see someone saying Breaking Bad. Yes, along with Better Call Saul as well. That's another great one. Sopranos? I've never actually seen The Sopranos. I did see The Wire when that came out. I remember that being really genuinely like groundbreaking at the time, but yeah, Sopranos, I should give that a go. Anyway, I wish you all the best. Thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. I had fun doing this. I hope you had fun watching it. Please head over to my YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed. It would be cool if you did. I'm a long way off it, but I'm trying to get to 100,000. I think I'm at 33 or 34,000 or something at the minute. Tailscale's at like 73. I've got to at least beat Tailscale, right? Got to at least beat my own day job before long. So that'd be nice. Halt and Catch Fire. Is that... I've heard that phrase. Is it a TV show? I forget. Or is it a movie? Or is it a book? Favourite British TV show? Without a doubt. Oh, it's tough. I say without a doubt. It's tough. Because you've got different eras, right? You've got obviously the Monty Pythons and the Blackadders of this world. The Fawlty Towers. Like, they're just... in their era... amazing. You've also got things like Friday Night Dinner and Fresh Meat and The In-Betweeners. They're all great too. And Black Books and Green Wing and Top Gear. Oh, it has to be Top Gear. Can't believe it took me that long to remember Top Gear. Yeah, people have accused me of Jeremy Clarkson worship before. We're probably not a million miles off with that. He's not perfect, of course, but I just think the way in which they put that TV show together, holy moly. We were blessed with Top Gear. We certainly were. Did I figure out how to watch BBC World Cup coverage? Yeah, I did. It wasn't that difficult, actually, in the end. My HD home run that I left at my mother-in-law's house in England is next to a Dell 1-litre PC. Oh, the Benedict Cumberbatch thing with penguins. That really was ridiculous. But anyway, the HD home run in England is just routing through a Tailscale subnet router to the HD home run client on my Apple TV, and it just works. So It is indeed the greatest series, pause, in the world. Clarkson's Farm's out too. New series of that. It's pretty cool. Anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you all. Let me know what else you want to see in Jellyfin June. We'll do another one of these with NVIDIA clients and Android TV clients. I don't think I'll do a live stream for mobile clients. I think it might be a bit difficult on the phone to get that up, but we'll see if I can manage to figure that out technically. Can't be beyond the wit of man to figure out how to live stream a phone, can it? But yeah. Thanks all for tuning in. Have a nice Saturday evening, and